Good evening, one and all. Welcome you all to the international seminar on doctors, diseases, disorders, medicines, pharmacy, drugs, administration, auditing, health, well-being, environment, and sustainable development 2023. Commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 75 years of independence, India's G20 presidency, and United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2015-2030 as part of awareness and campaigns in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute Center for Arts, Sciences and Wellbeing, and all other collaborators and international fraternity on occasion of National Doctors Day and National Chartered Accounts Day. So before we start our sessions, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue with today's sessions. Today, as already mentioned, we are commemorating National Doctors Day on July 1st every year in India as a special day that is commemorated worldwide in different countries on various dates. In India, lot of health professionals, especially doctors, have inspired the profession and creation of their national version of Doctors Day. And especially one significant person is Dr. Bipin Chandra Roy, and he was one of the India's most well-known and respected doctors. Every year on July 1st, the life and achievements of this incredible man are celebrated, and the millions of healthcare workers, patients, and medical organizations are honored on this day. So Doctors Day goes beyond just India. It has been observed by many countries for years and honors physicians contributing to the communities. It is observed as a commemoration, as a holiday in some countries by patients, beneficiaries of healthcare industry, and healthcare organizations. So when we look at the ancient medical system that was available to the humankind was Ayurveda, and our sages And our rishis were the original doctors, ancient doctors who practiced our ancient traditional medicine of Ayurveda. And even today, that stands tested, proven, and highly effective for various diseases and disorders, including illness. So when we have to credit, the doctors, then we have to start with our ancient sages, who are none other than Vaidya Narayanas, because Narayana is the name of God, who has only the power or the ability to bestow health and well-being, and also he is the giver of the life, and he is the taker of the life. So thus he can cure. He is the one who created the entire universe. He is the one who manages, and he is the one who decides what's to be eliminated at what time. So being the creator and the manager and the destroyer or the eliminator, the God Almighty has always the upper hand and is the beginning and also the end of the creation. So without mentioning, without referring to them, no matter how we celebrate or commemorate, it is still inadequate. So we all have to seek the blessings of our ancient sages, gurus, acharyas, and especially the god of Ayurveda or medicine, Dhanvantari, and also our various sages like Sushruta, the earliest known surgeon to the planet, and various other sages who have contributed immensely to the planet for health and well-being. As times evolved, as science has developed and has taken different ways and different disciplines which has emerged from the ancient sciences, and also the deviation that has happened from the ancient sciences because of various interests also has led to different developments of sciences and pseudosciences. Now, why we need to talk about sciences and pseudosciences? Sciences have been existing from time immemorial. Since ancient ages, we have science. Even before today, if we look back our ancient history, even today we have monuments. Like you take anything from life sciences or medical sciences. If you take Ayurveda, that has been long-standing, evidence-based and perfectly time-tested and still valid, relevant, significant, and it is still reliable and is widely used, though it is not widely promoted. Of course, there are different reasons for not being promoted due to various reasons, mostly because of business, political, and economical reasons. Of course, that is there because nowadays hospital industry has become business. So why it is still not being promoted or widely recognized, which is very well known, very well established, and very well recognized and very well proven since thousands and thousands of years. We may all have this doubt why it is still, in spite of being proved themselves and in spite of being practiced, why it is still not being widely promoted because of business interests. Of course, we are not going to get into that, but what we mean to say is the practitioners, whether it may be the ancient medicine or the traditional medicine or the modern medicine, all have dedicated their lives in pursuing, in practicing and delivering the services to the mankind. So that's how it is very much relevant today to acknowledge and express our gratitude to all the ancient sages and gurus who have given this divine knowledge and ancient sciences to us. So starting from our ancient sages and acharyas to the present commemoration which we are holding on the recognition of Dr. Bidhan Chandra Roy, who was a legendary physician and West Bengal's second chief minister, who was born in Patna in 1882, was eldest of the 5 siblings. Dr. Roy enrolled in the Calcutta Medical College in 1901. Before leaving India for further studies for completing his medical studies in India, Dr. Roy even became close with Mahatma Gandhi during the freedom struggle at one point in his life. There is a well-known story about how he had traveled to see Gandhi while he was fasting. He refused to take medicine because it was not manufactured in India. Upon hearing Gandhi refuse treatment in solidarity with his people, Dr. Roy responded and said he was to treat someone who has represented his country's 400 million people. So fierce, Gandhi then took medicine and continued his fight for the greater good. So one of the things Dr. Roy was decided to was providing affordable health care to all people in India. In fact, he was instrumental in establishing several facilities in Kolkata, including Jadavpur TB Hospital, Chittaranjan Seva Sadan, Kamala Nehru Memorial Hospital, Victoria Institution, Chittaranjan Cancer Hospital, and in 1926, he established the Chittaranjan Seva Sadan for women and children, which is considered by many to be one of his most outstanding achievements. The incredible life led by Dr. Roy inspired the Indian Medical Association to dedicate July 1st to his achievements and spirit. So, thus, National Doctors' Day was established in India starting in 1990. From medicine to politics, Dr. Roy became the Chief Minister of West Bengal following India's newly gained independence and has been very much proven in the assignments. And Dr. Roy, as already mentioned, established Chittaranjan Seva Sadan, a special hospital for women and children, which is first of its kind in 1926. And Dr. Roy was awarded the Bharat Ratna, the highest civilian award of the Republic of India, a year before his death in 1961. The first ever Doctors' Day is celebrated in India in the honor of Dr. Bidhan Chandra Roy since 1991. Since then, every year, we are commemorating and celebrating Dr. Roy's honor as National Doctors Day. Since it has most doctors in India, Delhi has the highest density of 335,000 doctors because it is most populous city and also capital city. Mumbai has one of the lowest densities of doctors, and Haryana has the highest doctor density among the states. Chennai has been dubbed the health capital of India. Approximately 150 international patients are admitted to multi and super specialty hospitals throughout the city. Chennai attracts roughly 45% of the global health tourists who visit the country and 30 to 40% of the domestic health tourists. So medical tourism is being promoted by Chennai and again contribution to the nation. Americans travel for treatment for various reasons, the most important of which is financial. India is particularly appealing option for American patients because several hospitals provide high quality care from English speaking professionals at reasonable prices. Affordability and the cost is also one of the major factors that is contributing to this medical tourism. Hospitals can be sad and depressing. So by livening things up with some flowers and toys for kids, you will not only create a positive spirit, but also honor and encourage the professionals that take care of and treat the sick and the injured. Act of kindness like that have been everlasting impact on people. Doing something simple to brighten a patient's day or making a doctor's day a little more colorful could mean the world to them. So let's take this opportunity to appreciate and wish all the doctors happy Doctor's Day. And we all have our go-to doctors, our family doctors that we call, that will reach, that we contact when we need medical care or advice. So these doctors stick with us in our darkest moments, and we need to pay them back by showing our sincere appreciation and gratitude. So on this occasion, you can invite them or you can visit them and honor them appropriately. And you can always make them feel that you are always there. And also for thanking them for always being there for us to make us feel better and getting us through the tough times. And as you know, the doctors-patient ratio is huge in India. We don't have adequate doctors to meet the population. And today, India stands the most populated country in the world. And comparatively, we have very less doctors when we look at the population to doctors ratio. And they incredibly work hard. Overtime is reported by approximately 64% of physicians, some working up to 60 hours a week and even more. And apart from their official working hours, they also work overtime and they also provide service at various charitable clinics and hospitals in their non-working hours. The earliest known hospital with physicians treating the sick dates back to 500 BC in Sri Lanka. Of course, we know in India, it's the oldest medicine system that is available, and we have the oldest hospitals established in ashrams and in various kingdoms. And in 2012, the average debt for recently graduated medical student was $1,70,000 with the majority of the debt stemming from 4 years of medical school. And thus, doctors or medical education has become expensive. And Elizabeth Blackwell was the first woman to graduate from a medical school in the United States and went on to establish a medical school for women in 1800s, the first female graduated in the US. And the early practice of medicine by physicians in India was particularly advanced with surgical techniques, including the removal of tumors, bladder stones, and even cataracts. So this day encourages young bright minds to study medicine and also honor particular fields and industries like medical health, which can impact young people searching for meaning and purpose in life. Studying medicine is much more accessible now than before, and many universities worldwide now offer medical studies. So let's take this special day to encourage young people to consider careers in medicine. Every year in India, when Doctors' Day is observed, the entire country honors the life and work of its most important and influential doctor, Dr. Bidhan Chandra Roy, and all the doctors across the nation. These celebrations keep his memory alive and inspire many people to live more bravely and with a purpose. He was a great man and he did many important things that has helped to advance healthcare in India. While we do focus on the life of a particular medical professional, on this Doctor's Day in India, we also draw attention to the incredible advancements in medicine and surgical techniques. India is one of the leading countries regarding medical technology and innovation, and that should be honored. India is so much more than a vastly populated country, and it has changed the way doctors treat patients and surgeons operate on our bodies. Even in India, Dr. Muthulakshmi Reddy from Tamil Nadu, who is the first lady doctor to have graduated in medicine, and we have Dr. Pratap Reddy, Apollo Hospitals, who have pioneered in health and medical infrastructure and services, having established a worldwide centers. India and abroad. And it is one of the most advanced hospitals, apart from other hospitals. These are just few to mention. There are various other hospitals, specialized hospitals, who have dedicated their lives and services. And apart from that, even not just merely having a doctor will not serve the purpose. Along with the doctors and their support, their clinical research and practice should also empower and also contribute to the pharma industry. Today we have Dr. Reddy Labs, Aurobindo Pharma, Ranbaxy, Cipla, and various other pharma companies which are providing the required medicines. And today, India stands as a leader, global leader and global supplier, not only for medical services, but also for the pharmaceuticals, medicines, and vaccines. We have seen it even at the time of COVID, India has supplied vaccinations to so many countries for free. So we have been always there, India as a Vishwa Guru, because of its rich culture and traditions, because of our culture, our Sanatana Dharma, and basically, our Hinduism and our rich culture and traditions, our great sages, where we offered philanthropy and charity as a charity, but not as a business model, which is widely seen in the West, as charity is also seen as a business model. So thus, India or doctors, especially, or healthcare professionals, healthcare workers, play important role and has been playing important role in India. So similarly, in Australia, 30th March is celebrated as Doctors' Day. In Kuwait, it is 3rd of March. In Brazil, it is October 18th. In Canada, it is on May 1st. In China, it is on November 20. In Cuba, it is on December 3rd. In El Salvador, it is on July 14th. In Indonesia, on 24th October. In Iraq, on 1st August. In Malaysia, 10th of October. In Turkey, 14th of March. In United States, 30th March. In Vietnam, February 28th. In Venezuela, March 10th. Nepal, on 4th March. Ecuador, on February 21st. So similarly, every country has its own National Doctors' Day based on the contributions, significant contributions those doctors has made. So not taking much time. Today we are also commemorating Chartered Accountants Day. It is also the day of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India was established. The Institute of Chartered Accountants of India is a statutory body established by the Act of Parliament, the Chartered Accountants Act 1949, for regulating the profession of chartered accountancy in the country. The institute functions under the administrative control of the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, Government of India. The ICAI is the second largest professional body of chartered accountants in the world, with a strong tradition of service to the Indian economy in the public interest. The affairs of ICAI are managed by a council in accordance with the provisions of the Chartered Accountants Act 1949 and the Chartered Accountants Regulations 1988. The council constitutes of 40 members, of whom 32 are elected by the chartered accountants and remaining 8 are nominated by the central government, generally representing the Comptroller and Auditor General of India, Securities and Exchange Board of India, Ministry of Corporate Affairs, Ministry of Finance, and other stakeholders. Over a period of time, the ICAI has achieved recognition as a premier accounting body, not only in the country, but globally, for maintaining the highest standards in technical, ethical areas, for sustaining stringent examination and education standards. Since 1949, the profession has grown leaps and bounds in terms of members and student base. So this year, ICAI celebrates its 75th year of existence. And on the occasion of its 75th Foundation Day, ICAI unveiled a special logo design. ICAI is proud to unveil the special logo designed to commemorate the start of its glorious 75th year celebrations on the eve of Chartered Accountant Day 2023. And this event will be celebrating as Vishwas Kautso, showcasing ICIA's name as the embodiment of independence, integrity, and excellence. So on this day, we are wishing all the brilliant chartered accountants out there a filled with success, recognition, and appreciation for your exceptional financial expertise and contributions. So on this special day, we celebrate the invaluable role of chartered accountants in maintaining financial integrity and driving economic growth. And let's appreciate the chartered accountants who ensure financial integrity and guide business and individuals to success for their invaluable contributions. Then we'll move on to today's sessions. So we once again wish all the doctors and medical health professionals and workers a happy Doctors' Day. So today we have with us Dr. Payal Biswasu, co-founder and director, lactation specialist and consultant and childbirth educator from Institute of Human Sciences for Holistic Health. She is also chairperson for Human Milk Banking and also breastfeeding awareness for Rotary Club, MCH RID 3192, Rotary Bangalore, Platinum City. And she has various qualifications and almost 2 decades of experience in childbirth education and lactation with various academic qualifications and research publications to her credit, and also a doctorate in women empowerment. So we welcome you, Dr. Payal Biswasu, and we wish you happy Doctors' Day and invite you to take over for your session on empowering super moms in scrubs, nurturing resilience for pregnant doctors and new moms in medicine. You can unmute yourself and start your video and start your presentation. Over to you for your session.
A very good evening, sir. It's always an honor to be in this platform. And namaste, everyone. So why I chose this topic? Few years back, I remember one of my friends, she called up, she was exhausted and she was overwhelmed. I asked her, what happened? She said that she was in her duty from past 2 days, and she was in her 38th week of her pregnancy and totally exhausted and tired. So that is the reason I thought that, we need to do something to help the pregnant doctors and the new moms in medicine. The medical profession demands resilience from its practitioners, isn't it? And this is particularly true for women doctors who are pregnant or new mothers. Balancing the responsibilities of the healthcare and motherhood can be challenging, but it is essential to support and empower these women to thrive in their career while giving importance to their well-being and family life. So today's topic is for promoting resilience among women doctors who are pregnant, new moms, or even newly married, emphasizing the importance of supportive environment, policies, and resources to help them to navigate the unique challenges they face. So, what are the challenges? First, we need to identify the challenges: pregnancy and career decisions. Biological clock and career clock are in total conflict with each other. Women doctors may face dilemmas related to timing their pregnancies and balancing the demand of medical or training or professional commitment. I remember one of my patients, she was pregnant and she was studying really hard for a medical entrance exam for her master's. So it's for us as a women, this clock, this biological clock and this career clock never ever, and they are never ever friendly. So we have to decide what to do, at what, whether we are planning for our pregnancy, whether we are planning for our career growth. Then comes a work-life integration, juggling the responsibilities of being a doctor, a new mom, or newly married can be physically and emotionally taxing. So many a times it happens, you have to decide that whether that day you want to become whether you want to be a doctor or a wife or a mother, or so we need to adjust our work schedules. We need to plan beforehand the childcare arrangement and support system. So here the communication is very important. You need to talk to your management, you need to talk to your family members, you need to talk to your peers and other support system. Then comes a maternity leave and returning to work after delivery. Transition from maternity leave back to demanding medical profession can be overwhelming, not only for the doctors, for every woman present on the earth. So women doctors may experience concern about resuming their roles, maintaining competence, managing work-family dynamics. So here I always recommend that when you are coming back to work, you need to make sure that work environment is supportive, and you need to talk during pregnancy, not only after when you are joining back to work. You need to talk to your management that you will be breastfeeding your baby. So you need a place, you need flexibility to feed your baby, to express your milk, those are the things you need to talk to your management before you go for your delivery, for your maternity leave, so that after coming back, you should be comfortable. Building supportive environment is another thing. So regarding the workplace policies, the healthcare institution should implement family-friendly policies that support pregnant doctors and new moms, including flexible work schedules, maternity and paternity leave options, lactation support, and childcare facilities. Though many organizations gives maternity leave, but paternity leave is still doubtful for many organizations. Hardly few organizations give maternity leave, but the fathers, after your wife give birth to your baby, your presence is also important. So as a new father, you also make sure that you talk to your organization to help, stating that you want to help the new mom, you need to take care of your baby. So you should apply for paternity leave. Then mentoring and role model. So encouraging mentorship programs, providing access to female doctors who have successfully navigated the challenges of motherhood and medical career can inspire and guide pregnant women, pregnant doctors and new moms. So what we learn from each other. So if you find that any senior doctor or any of our friend who has delivered a baby and successfully able to manage the career and work-life balance, I think we should always talk to them. Communication with the peer group, communication with the seniors, communication with the juniors, communication with colleagues, management, it's the family members, with the in-laws, with the parents. It's very important. If you want to maintain your career, at the same time, you want to maintain your, great family, family life. Then creating a culture of support. So we always encourage that organizations should establish a supportive and inclusive work environment that values work-life balance, promotes open communication, not one-way communication, and fosters peer support network. And that can contribute to the resilience of women doctors. If the organization is not supportive, we will be losing many competent doctors. So providing resources and education, maternal health and well-being. So when we provide comprehensive healthcare services and resources that address the unique need of pregnant doctors and new moms, including prenatal care, mental health support, parenting guidance, can enhance their well-being. And we all know that mental health pandemic is real. So we need to take care of the mental health in this stressful life. And we know that, how many doctors we are losing because of stressful life. Recently, her doctor died of heart attack, very young doctor. And another place we see that, a doctor has committed, took her life. So they can't, take that stress. So what we have to do, first, we need to take care of ourselves in order to take care of the others. Exercises, then having a healthy food. Many a times it happens that as a medical professionals, we are not taking care of our health. We are worried more about others' health than our health. And food. Yes, we don't have any fixed timing to have our food. So that is very crucial. First, we need to take care of ourselves. Then only we'll be able to take care of our family and, other people. We will be competent to take care of other people and give them service. So here I just want to emphasize on physical exercises, then do meditation, have plenty of water and fluids, Many a times we miss this as well. Then gratitude journal. Maintain a gratitude journal. How many of us are maintaining a gratitude journal? Do we really think that we are grateful for our life at this point of time? I think after COVID, we all should be grateful for what we have. If you have food on our plate, if you have roof on above our head, and our near and dear ones are healthy, then I think we all should be grateful to the Almighty. So maintain a gratitude journal. Write 5 things what you are grateful for. That will uplift your mental well-being. That will make good. That will help you to release oxytocin. So always take care of your health before taking care of others' health. Then professional development and opportunities. Offer targeted continuing medical education programs and resources specifically designed for pregnant doctors and new moms, and which will help everyone to stay updated and maintain their professional growth during and after their maternity leave. They always keep yourself updated. If you are taking break or if you are into the things, don't think that your career has ended. If you keep yourself updated, then definitely whenever you are ready, you can come back and join and start your career again. Then look for flexible career pathways. If you are having literally challenging things, explore alternative career paths or flexible work arrangements such as part-time positions, job sharing, or telemedicine option. After COVID, telemedicine has become like a boon for everyone. And this can enable women doctors to balance their professional and family responsibilities effectively. You know your timings, you are your own boss. You know what is important. So, and you need to prioritize that and you need to plan it beforehand. If you're joining back to work, at least 1 month you need to plan everything. And if you are a new mom, then definitely 1 month is needed. Then encouraging self-care and work-life integration, emphasizing self-care, promoting self-care practices, stress management techniques like meditation, like then strategies for maintaining physical and mental well-being are essential to ensure the resilience and long-term sustainability of women doctors in demanding roles. So what we can do, reading a book at least for 5 minutes we can do, right? We can write a journal. If you're into a hobby, at least take out 10 minutes. If you're not getting time every day, at least once or twice in a week, practice your hobby. That will make you more happier. Instead of focusing only on the career and the family, take out little amount of time. Go for a spa, go for meditation, go for yoga, or just if you don't have any option, just sit at go to a park and just do nothing. So it is very important. Then supportive network, create a supportive network. Connecting with your friends, family members, then the supportive system like this house help. Search from beforehand, not when you deliver your baby. Keep it ready. Providing opportunity for peer support. Always, talk to your friends and your seniors and juniors. Keep in contact. Many a times we find that, as a women, we are not keeping in contact with our friends and, colleagues or seniors and juniors. We lose contact with everyone after we get married or after we enter into the motherhood. It is very much needed to form a supportive network, sharing experiences, which can foster a sense of community and reduce feeling of isolation. And also talk to other new moms. then you won't feel that I'm all alone. You will see that other moms also are also having the same challenges like you. Then comes advocacy and leadership opportunities. And women doctors should be encouraged to actively participate in leadership roles. So this is needed. What are the challenges? If in the leadership role only men are there, then there won't be fair justice to the women. So women doctors should be there in the leadership role, in the policy development, in the decision making and advocacy initiative, which can empower them to bring about positive changes in the medical profession and address the unique challenges faced by pregnant doctors and new moms. So, in conclusion, I just want to say promoting resilience among women doctors who are pregnant, new moms, and even newly married is crucial for their well being, career progression, and the overall advancement of the medical profession. By recognizing their challenges, building supportive environments, providing resources and education, and encouraging self care and work life integration, healthcare institutions and society can empower these women to navigate the complex intersection of motherhood and medicine successfully. Supporting and valuing women doctors throughout their journey as a mother and healthcare professional is essential for building a diverse, inclusive, and resilient medical workforce. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Payal, for your sharing wonderful insights on the topic. And yeah, this occupational stress is also very much evident in various occupations, and it is highly, as you rightly pointed out, it is also nowadays because of more and more of stress on doctors. We are seeing a lot of unwanted, untoward incidents that are happening to doctors. So there is a high need we need to address, and we not only need to address the physical and mental, emotional health, but also occupational safety and hazards, where these safety measures needs to be implemented. Even we see a lot of time because when any untoward incident happens, especially violence towards doctors or health professionals, because we all are driven by emotions. And when something happens to our loved ones, we are not able to control and we are not able to accept. And at times, it also becomes difficult to explain the medical condition of the deceased or the dead ones to their family members because of the lack of adequate time available, because the doctor has to attend to many patients. And moreover, the other hospital staff are not adequately trained, where there is lack of proper multidisciplinary team there, lack of psychologists, lack of counselors, lack of social workers, where they can intervene at various stages of case management. So I think by addressing and having more multidisciplinary professionals or such members on team, maybe we can address and reduce the stress levels of doctors, especially, because at least to some part of their work can be delegated to these counselors, psychologists, or social workers.
Right. And it is also very much needed, sir, that, every 6 months or every year, all this medical organization, they should have a psychological counseling or a workshop sort of things for all the doctors, so that they should know what the things they are going through. Because a lot of stress, this medical professional they are in stress. If you see your doctors around you, they are in stress. professional stress, then family stress, whether they are male or female, it doesn't matter. They are in constant stress, and that is uh, really not good for the family, for the person, for the family, and overall for the society. So, as you said, we need multidisciplinary team to support, like the counselor, psychologist, yoga therapist, and then the social workers. Everyone, we need to be in the loop to have a proper and channelized, this to for the work to be done.
Come to Dr. Biswas. And nowadays, with thanks to the central government, it is now promoting Ayush also. So, based on the client's preferences and beliefs, we have multiple medical systems also. So that increases, the trust and belief on the practitioner as well as the medical system. And also, the recovery rates are also high, and adherence to the treatment is also high, especially when the client himself or herself chooses the kind of medicine or the practice, when they choose that, generally the adherence is high. Otherwise, generally nowadays people are coming up with more suggestions. Often there is a regular complaint from doctors that patients study all on Google and come, and they also suggest some medication by themselves only. Before
Absolutely.
doctor writes something, they only suggest, I am having this. This is the best medicine. You prescribe this medicine. So sometimes, doctors are in awkward situation, because they're, they are the ones who can rightly assess and prescribe medication. But again, when they are not prescribing, based on the assessment, and sometimes the adherence to those medicines or medication is lacking. So they take 1 or 2 days again, if they feel, okay, they are skipping the medication. And again, there is a relapse, and again, after some time, the similar situation prevails. So these are also certain things we need to address, and definitely there is a long way ahead, but things are changing now. There are a lot of laws are also coming into force, but no matter, we have many laws, like simple laws not to jump the signal is also there, but we often overlook and jump signals, violate traffic rules and regulation. So similarly, though, in spite of many rules and regulations are there, even towards protecting the health professionals in health institutions, but still, following them, implementation part is a hardest part that is happening, because at that time it is very difficult to console the grief and other aspects. And not only at the time of crisis, even we have seen, as you rightly pointed out, the occupational stress of health professionals and work-life balance, as you rightly pointed out, and especially women health professionals like doctors or nurses or other professionals in healthcare industry. They have to manage their personal life also, as you rightly pointed out, being an expert in this birth and lactation and other related aspects. They need to manage themselves, their pregnancy and childbirth and all these things. That also again increases, and there are lack of facilities in spite of so much of advocacy being conducted and awareness being created. We still see a lot of lacunae in the organizations in providing facilities like crutches or breastfeeding room and other services. Even in hospitals also, rarely we find. Forget about doctors, we don't see. Forget about the patients, but for doctors also, I have not seen, especially in some hospitals that too, but most of the hospitals, uh, no, I haven't seen any such arrangement. So,
No, it's not there. Actually, it's not there.
yeah. So maybe, as you rightly pointed out, we need to focus on such things also. So very well deliberated. Thank you once again. We wish you happy Doctor's Day.
Thank you and wish you the same, sir. And it's always an honor. I'm really grateful to be in this platform and to interact with you and all the participants. Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. If participants have any queries, feedback, we will take up quickly. You can unmute yourself, or you can raise your hand, or you can use chat box to share your feedback, queries, clarifications. There are few appreciation messages, but I don't see any query. If you are unable to unmute yourself, you can raise your hand. We can unmute you from our side. Hope the topic is very well understood. So thank you once again, Dr. Payal Biswasu, for accepting our invitation and joining us on this wonderful occasion, on this international seminar. We wish you all the success and look forward for more sessions in the future. Once again, happy Doctor's Day to you and your family.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
So friends, after this wonderful session, let's move on to next session. So before that, quickly, we are raising the feedback form in the form of polls. We request everyone to kindly fill up the feedback form for session 1. Similarly, for every session, there will be a feedback form where you can share your queries, suggestions, feedback on the session. It will be helpful for us. And also, this data is used as attendance and also preparing your certificates. We request everyone to quickly attend to the feedback form, which has been raised in the form of polls. There is no link. You can see within the Zoom platform, you can access the feedback form through polls quizzes menu. If you are using web browser for accessing the international conference seminar, you kindly check if there are any add-ons or applications, plugins that is prohibiting you from displaying polls. We always advise you to use Zoom app with the latest version, whichever version your system supports, to leverage the benefits of the Zoom platform. If you are using mobile phone, if your screen is not active, you may not see the poll window, feedback window. You may need to swipe top or bottom or right or left to access the window. Otherwise, you can see the menu. In the menu, polls or quizzes, there will be an active polls. When you click on that, you can see the active poll feedback for session 1. where you can fill your details. Because of these touch screens, if you accidentally touch the screen also, the window might disappear to the background, or it may get closed accidentally. If you are still unable to see the form, you can quickly log off and log in with the same link, same credentials. So once you log on, you can immediately see the feedback window. You can fill up all the details. We request all the participants, those who have not registered, those who have joined directly, to register for the international seminar. The registration link has been shared in the chat box. We are sharing once again for your convenience. Feedback form is available only in the Zoom platform. There is no link that can be shared. We request everyone to fill the feedback form, which has been raised in the form of polls in Zoom platform. We request everyone to quickly fill up the feedback for session 1. We have 5 minutes for each feedback form. Can be in brief, but fill all the details. We request everyone to quickly fill up the feedback form. We are moving to our next session for the day. We have with us Dr. Jyoti Makkar. She is dentist, psychologist, counselor, and also a lifelong learner from New Delhi. She is a dentist, completed her BDS from Punjab, and she has Masters in Clinical Psychology and also postgraduate diploma in counseling and family therapy, and also a certification in brain and behavior and various other certifications in behavioral health. So she would be talking on the topic dental caries. Dr. Jyoti, you can unmute yourself, start your video and your presentation.
Jai Shri Krishna and very good evening to all. Before commencing my topic, I would like to thank the Almighty Father who granted me this opportunity, to the organizers of this platform, and also to the wonderful participants. So my topic of today is dental caries. What is dental caries? Dental caries is a dental disease in which there is demineralization of inorganic portion of the tooth and destruction of the organic portion followed by cavitation. And it is a very common disease in the field of dentistry. There are various theories related to dental caries, there is this worm theory. In the earlier times, it was believed that dental caries is caused due to worms which suck up the blood of the tooth and they destroy the root of the tooth owing to some punishment for some offenseful act you have done in the eyes of the gods. So it is a punishment. That was a belief among the people. Then there is this proteolytic theory. Proteolytic theory says that dental caries, the protein content of the tooth, it is destroyed first. And then there is this proteolytic chelation theory. It is a further progression of proteolytic theory. Then there is this humor theory. Now, what is this humor theory? In the humor theory, it was believed that those who proponents of the humor theory were Greeks. Earlier Greek philosophers, and they believed that there are 4 humors in the body, like blood, phlegm, yellow bile, black bile, and they said that when there is an imbalance of these 4 humors, dental caries results. Then there is this parasitic theory, chemical theory. Chemical theory, they say that there is an unknown chemical which is responsible for this caries. They say that when the food is in the teeth, when it is putrefied, and then this unidentified chemical acts on it and it causes caries. Then there is a theory which says that this dental caries, it originates from the tooth itself, and it's analogous to bone gangrene. But the most widely accepted theory among all these theories, the most widely accepted theory is acidogenic theory. Acidogenic theory says that there is a dietary role and there is a bacterial role. Like according to the acidogenic theory, when we intake carbohydrates, dietary carbohydrates, they're acted upon by bacteria. And these bacteria, they produce acids, and these acids, they cause dissolution of the tooth, and that results in the caries. Now, caries, it is characterized by demineralization, subsequent demineralization of tooth structure, remineralization of tooth structure, and cavitation. Now, tooth, it has various layers. Outermost layer is enamel. Enamel is the hardest layer, and even it is harder than even our bone, a bone of a teeth, bone of our body. And after enamel, there is dentine. Then there is pulp, which is a soft mesenchymal tissue. Then there is cementum. Cementum is in the root portion. So caries, first it starts at the subsurface of enamel, and there is loss of minerals from the tooth, calcium and phosphate. When there is loss of minerals from the tooth, there is a change in refractive index of the tooth. And due to that, the color becomes, the translucency of enamel changes. The color becomes a chalky white. Then after this, the caries lesion, it slowly progresses. And then it moves towards dentine. First, it starts in the enamel subsurface. From there, it progresses to dentine, the next layer. And when it reaches dentine, the person subject inflicted with caries starts getting sensitivity to and when slowly from the dentine, if it is yet not treated, it progresses to pulp. Pulp is the center, is located in the center of the tooth, core area of the tooth, and it results in pain when it reaches pulp. And then after that, if it progresses even further, the tooth, it becomes unrestorable. Now, there are various types of caries. Caries is classified according to the surface of the tooth. Where is it located? Enamel caries, dentine caries, cemental caries. Caries is classified according to whether it is located interproximally, smooth surface caries. It is classified as pit and fissure caries. Pit and fissure caries is located in posterior teeth, that is premolars and molars. Premolars and molars, they have pits and grooves. Out there, the food gets stuck, and if it is not cleaned properly, then plaque accumulates, and after on the plaque, the bacteria accumulates, and then acids release takes place, lactic, acetic acid. And lactic acid is in larger amount, then that causes the dissolution and demineralization, remineralization, and then finally cavitation. So pit and fissure caries, smooth surface caries occurs on our interproximal surface. Interproximal surface is the surface between two teeth. Two teeth are in contact. The interproximal is at the junction of the two teeth. That is the interproximal surface. Then after that, it is on smooth surface caries may be on the cervical surface of the tooth. Cervical surface of the tooth, that is close to the gingiva, margin of the tooth. And then this smooth surface caries may be on the labial surface of the tooth. Then there is this root caries. Root caries occurs in older individuals. In older individuals, there is gingival recession, which we call gum recession in layman term. So when these gums recede, what happens is that caries, they occur on the cementum. Usually root of a tooth, it has cementum and dentine. There is a very thin layer of cementum, and majority is composed of dentine. So root caries, they involve both cementum as well as dentine, because cementum is a very thin layer. Then there is progressive caries. Progressive caries which progress continuously, rapidly progressive caries. They may be rapidly progressive, they may be slow progressive. Slow progressive caries may become arrested. They have a chance to become arrested. If they become arrested, they don't require treatment unless and until they pose problem. Then there is this rampant caries. Rampant caries, it can occur in any age group. It can occur in old age people also, in old age people who have xerostomia. Xerostomia, decreased lively flow. It can occur in adolescents also, adolescents who take too much of energy drinks. And it can also occur in small children who eat too much carbohydrate rich diet. Then there is this early childhood caries. So depending upon how do we detect these caries? We detect caries basically by radiographic examination. Then there is clinical evaluation. We take a mirror and we take a blood probe, and we probe on the occlusal surface, pits and fissures of the posterior teeth. We remove the sticky food stuff from there, and then we do clinical evaluation. We see it. And then we may also take an explorer if we find a catch on the tooth surface where we are seeing if there is caries or not. If we find a catch, it indicates there is caries. If the caries starts on the enamel and it is detected, it should be restored as early as possible, because if we do not restore it as early as possible and it progresses to the dentine, it will produce sensitivity to hot and cold. And if it is not restored at that stage also, it will further progress further and it will reach pulp. And when it reaches pulp, the person will present with pain sensation. pain sensation, and we will have to go for RCT, root canal treatment, and pulpectomy in children, root canal treatment in elderly and youngsters, and pulpectomy in small children. Pulpectomy is also root canal only, but in children and adolescents. And then there is this treatment modality comprises of glass ionomer cement, restorative cement. It contains pulp capping. Sometimes when we are excavating the caries, accidentally, the caries is so deep that accidentally the clinician tends to reach the pulp. And if there is minor invasion of the pulp, and duration is less than 24 hours, and there is not much bleeding, there is no pain also, there is no periradicular pathology also. It is just that a dentist was excavating the caries, and while performing the procedure, owing to deep caries, he accidentally reached pulp. But there is no pain presentation in the patient, there is no periradicular pathology, and there is no systemic disease in the patient person, then the dentist can go for pulp capping. Pulp capping is of two types, direct and indirect. The difference between direct and indirect pulp capping is, in direct pulp capping, we directly over the exposed pulp, we place a restorative material like calcium hydroxide and MTA. And why do we place that material? We place that material to protect it from heat, cold, bacterial invasion, and so that reparative dentine forms. And indirect pulp capping, the differences in indirect pulp capping, we leave a thin layer of dentine and some portion of caries, and then we place the material. Material is again same, MTA and calcium hydroxide. And the purpose is same, reparative dentine, tertiary dentine formation takes place, and that thin layer, it becomes even more. That is pulp capping. Then there is one treatment procedure is pulpotomy. Pulpotomy, what happens if the pulp is infected by caries, and we remove the coronal pulp. Suppose if the coronal is the crown portion, if in the crown of the tooth is the one which is visible in the oral cavity, root is the one which is not visible in the oral cavity, which is in a gum. So crown portion of the tooth, we remove the pulp, and root portion pulp we let it remain. And then we place the material and a calcium hydroxide, MTA, and then we place a temporary material over it. So that is pulpotomy. Now pulpectomy, I told it is root canal treatment in children, and that is the final resort is root canal treatment if we want to save the tooth. And in elderly also, and suppose the caries, it reaches furcation area. Furcation area is that area in the posterior teeth like molars and premolars, the point where the roots divide into 2 or 3. That junction where the roots are dividing, that is called furcation area. So if the caries reaches the furcation areas, it becomes inevitable to save the tooth. In that case, we will have to get the tooth extracted. So it is very essential if caries is diagnosed at an early stage. For that, one should periodically consult a dentist every 6 months, should take care of oral hygiene procedures like 2-time brushing of the teeth, flossing of the teeth, because there are areas in our oral cavity where a brush does not reach. So flossing of the teeth, mouth rinses after every meal. Every meal you should take mouth rinses and warm salid rinses, and you should avoid eating too much of snacky meals between the meals, snacky food between the meals, and periodic visit to the dentist. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Jyoti, for sharing your insights on dental caries. So, how do we prevent this dental caries?
First is psycho-education of the masses. Then we have to do periodic dental visits and brushing, 2 times brushing, flossing, and mouth rinsing, warm saliva rinses after every meal. Because if we mouth rinse after every meal, the food in the interproximal area, that will get cleansed. By flossing also it gets cleansed, because that food in the interproximal area, it gives a way to the microorganisms to act on it. If it is clean, they will not act on it, and these microorganisms, they produce acids, acetic acid, lactic acid, with lactic acid produced in maximum amount, and this acid is the one which causes dissolution of the tooth structure and causes the dental caries, cavitation. So if we take proper care, then after your child 1 year, when the child is just 1 year old, the parents should take the child to the dentist. The parents should have a habit to visit the dentist. Then because if they visit the dentist and they take the child also to the dentist, then the child will not have the fear of facing the dentist. And education, dental education among the masses.
Thank you, Dr. Jyoti. Yeah, Mary, you can unmute yourself.
Good evening to all. I thank Dr. Ravindra sir and Sri Holistic Health Foundation for giving me this opportunity to express my opinion. Jyoti ma'am, you did a great presentation. Actually, I go every once in a year for scaling, and my sister is also dentist, so she told me every once in a year you go for scaling. So in that way I learned about this dental caries, and it is a very informative session, and lot of points I jotted down. Very interactive and very informative. Gained lot of knowledge. All the best for your next session. God bless you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Anyone else, if you have any queries, you can unmute yourself. If there are no further queries, then thank you once again, Dr. Jyoti Makkar, for joining us on this wonderful Doctor's Day. We wish you happy Doctor's Day to you and your family. And we wish you all the success for your future endeavors and look forward for more sessions in future.
Thank you, sir.
So without taking much time, we'll move on to our next session. We have with us Dr. V. Nikhila Priya. She is homeopathic doctor and practitioner and presently working as medical training officer at Arman Foundation, Hyderabad. And she is also running her own clinic, Dr. Priya's Homeo Care and Stores in Hyderabad, where she is practicing as homeopathic physician. And she is presently pursuing Masters in Public Health at Indian Institute of Public Health, Hyderabad. And she has BHMS, Bachelor in Homeopathic Medicine from Rajiv Gandhi University of Health Sciences, Dharwad. And she has interned and worked at a few organizations as part of her educational requirements. So we will welcome you, Dr. Nikhila Priya, and we invite you to take over for your session on homeopathy and public health. Over to you. You can start your video and audio and presentation.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Myself, Dr. Nikla Priya here, and wishing you all a happy Doctors' Day out, all the doctors there. Like all the fields of medical doctors over there, happy Doctors' Day. I just want to start with a proverb rather than getting into the topic. Like we all know that doctors are the one people who don't let the people down, whomsoever come to us, and we treat up to the mark. And I consider each and every doctor as a dare one to dare to differ. Like I might be taking a different style of case taking one side and different way of treating. Like it differs from each and every doctor. Like each and every doctor has their own perspective of taking a case and involving the patient. But ultimate motto of each and every doctor is to cure and seeking like ultimate care for the patient. It is at most one. And I request all the doctors there and happy Doctors' Day, and all the physicians, all the disciplinary doctors over there. And how many of you doctors agree that dare to differ once? Like it's the utmost phrase. Like I'll be giving to the doctors. How many of the doctors out there will agree with me? Like dare to differ.
Actually, every day a doctor needs to be appreciated. This particular day comes from Western culture. I don't believe that there should be one day, but having a day also promotes.
Yeah, not the day, but a dare to face the society, not the patients also. Like treating each and every patient is a challenging part, sir. I feel that like each and every patient differ from each and every condition. So it may be the challenging for the doctors to treat each and every patient, and it will be like a learning session also. That's what I feel. And the way doctors, not only a doctor, there are situations where doctors may act as a lawyers also, they act as a friend also, because the moment patient comes, the trust they built over the doctors is like sometimes there are the situation where need to give a decision over like ultimate decision to the patient, like you do this will be good in this situation. And there are a situation where they need a comfort, they come to us and they need a comfort. That's what the patients seek, comfort and friendly way. And they trust us and say, so there are situations we act as a friends also. So there are different roles that doctors play. Coming to my field, homeopathy, rather than it's like holistic approach rather than pluralistic, like a multi-way system, we only deal with the holistic approach. Or it's like the still water, it remains there, but it's more deep inside, it runs more deep. Like there are many myths and myths even though, but there are research areas going on to find the evidence over there, like clinical trials and all the placebo effects, or how the homeopathic study advancing in taking care of cancers or NCD diseases or chronic diseases. Linking homeopathy system to the public health is at most important thing. Like we know in orthodox system there are three important fields we concentrate. One is health expenditure part, one is the services providing, and the population coverage, that we known as universal health coverage in general terms. But the Ayush system, like homeopathy including Ayush system, where it lacks is a population coverage. I mean, not the inclusion part, but the people utilization coverage, like people receiving the treatment or seeking the treatment is very less compared to the medical, like allopathy system of medicine. There are many reasons. It may be due to the recovery rate or cure availability, lack of knowledge about the system. but government is trying at most to promote our system also, providing campaigns, insurance, even from the grassroots level. It's trying each and every PHCs for the inclusion of all the tribal people to the everyone. Ayush medical officer is present at each and every level. Like, it is more towards the people approach rather than the government level. It is like people centric. Like, if a person comes and tell you from among the group of one people whom you are close, if they come and treat you, you feel like safe and secure. That is what the Ayush system where it lies, and very constant, as it is more traditional approach and people centric. And we know there are many schemes and many things. Only population coverage, it is very less. Coming to the health expenditure compared to the allopathy system, health expenditure in Ayush is very less, and it's quite good. And also service providing, yes, there are some conditions it may be lacking, but yeah, it's good up to the services providing. It's at most safer, accuracy is there, and reliability is there. So it was at most working there. So all the three areas are good, but less contribute to the population coverage is more lacking. Uh, yes, we all know that we doctors are trying hard to provide healthcare, provide services to the people, but there are the unprofessional medical quads common in each and every medical system, not only in Ayush but even in medical, dental, each and everywhere. Medical quads are quite common. I think that are need to be addressed by the government. As a part of public health student, I feel that when we go on to the field, there are certain in tribal areas where they receive treatment not from the medical professionals but from the medical quads who are they are not even skilled, not even professional also. There are certain reasons why the medical quads are increasing, maybe due to traditions or maybe due to their beliefs, norms, or they are used to that culture residing over the generations. Maybe because of that, medical quads are increasing. But government, in order to reduce the healthcare, in order to reduce the healthcare utilization, healthcare acceptancy rate and the recovery rate, and the belief, lack of believing the healthcare system, government need to improvise this. And campaigns or allotting each and every doctor at least like in a rotational shift or anything. Posting should be there in the tribal areas and as well as the unreached areas. As of now, it is doing very good because of the telemedicine. The system has been increased, but more the medical quads are in Ayush, and second is the dental one, which we have seen in the many researching or many researcher papers also, that are need to be covered. And I need to more concentrate of, as of now everyone are talking about the profession itself, like how we need to be and all, like how good are the doctors in the field. But I feel that medical agronomics is more important. Agronomics is like something, when we fit into the job, the coming to the environment, it may be the environment of mental and physical. It may not be relating, like it is more related to the all the physical works like IT professionals and all those, but it is more important for the medical also, because there are the physicians and the other healthcare providers who work along, starting from the surgeries and the handling of the instruments, workstation, and the stress levels they take is the at most in more levels that relates to the more work related musculoskeletal disorders, because they are increasing more mentally and physically. So there is a need to be addressed for the medical economics more. like in order to increase the medical, like overall healthcare quality, like safety and everything. Like if a doctor is doing good mentally and physically, only patient self, then only we can take care of others. That's what the main thing is. So government should concentrate on medical agronomics, like physically means work station, like infrastructure, staffing, handling tools. Even for that also, education and training should be provided for the all the professionals over there. And designing the tools and equipments should be more. And cognitive ergonomics is like stress, whatever pressure, like handling the patients. One doctor in a, suppose imagine a hospital where only one physician is there. Like if we take in the rural areas or rural PHCs, only one physician handling over 300 or 400 population is like something, he need to manage the OPD and IPD services. So there are a lot of pressure over the doctor. So those things are need to be handled. And at most important is health and safety, third part. But for the solutions, like government, in order to address the medical ergonomics, there need to be an digital, like nowadays it is coming, like innovating all the digital health records in order to reduce the work also. That's good part. And we need to provide the staffing, the rotation and breaks to the doctors. Shift should be there, and leave should be provided properly. Proper training and education for the medical agronomics giving should be there, like how to handle the instrument, how long, if there is a long surgery, how many times they need to take break. All this should be addressed. Occupational health should be more emphasized in this part. Conducting research on this medical agronomics is more important. If the doctor work well, then the system works very good. Everything goes hand in hand. If the one falls sick, everyone will fall sick. That's what I believe. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Priya. As you rightly pointed out, yeah, you would like to share. Your video was not visible, ma. Even your presentation. Did you have any PPT presentation?
PPT, right? But it's not related to the agronomics, like it is ongoing project, sir.
If you want to present that, you can also present it. No problem.
Like,
Can you try?
yeah, next time.
Okay.
Like I just want to ask all the doctors who were present here, like how many are facing the problem with the work system, like their shifts or breaks or stress levels in the hospitals? Were they addressed? All your problems were the addressed one?
Again, I think this will vary from person to person, doctor to doctor.
Yes, sir. That's what I will. Like in surgery, I think all the dentists and the surgeries profession where they require a long duration of standing there, operating the, taking care of the operations, taking care of the patients, long OPDs, general physicians. I think then there need to be 2-3 doctors substituting each other. Shift should be there, because that utmost stress will be there. Surgeries and IPD both together. And professional wise, yes, it differs based on the, even in education also they may differ. All the education doctor may not be only curing them, but there are physicians who are providing academics also. Like even they also face the same level of stress, I feel so.
Yes, ma'am. As you rightly said, no, it depends on the infrastructure, hospital to hospital, and again the specialty. Like general physicians have to, general surgeons have to face lot of patients, see lot of patients. So they will comparatively they will have higher occupational stress. And also when we look at various studies also recently, these medical errors that are being happening are due to this stress only. And
Yes.
adverse drug reactions are also happening because of this stress, occupational stress, where
Yeah.
doctors are not able to manage their stress, and often due to working hours, excessive overtime, uh, these errors, also medical errors or prescription errors or adverse drug reactions are also happening.
Yes.
We have seen various records also as per IMA and World Health Organization and various organizations bringing out various reports. So based on these statistics, we see there is a greater need of multidisciplinary team,
Yes, sir.
integration of
So because of, I feel that because of doctor and patient ratio, which is quite a, like, there is a lot of difference. There are reducing, like there are no much physicians there. So government need to be like, increase the education system, like educating them and all the distributing the staff, even at the government level also. There should be a proper staffing there.
Yeah, as you rightly mentioned, there is a great gap between the patient and doctor ratio. So more medical colleges has to come up, and even the existing recruitment has to go up, especially with the professors, medical professors, so that more seats can be added to the existing colleges. Often we are seeing, existing seats, especially in the government colleges, are cutting down. There, so that it again creates a new problem. And more, and nowadays with more and more facilities. In fact, it has become quite common now. Even our Indian, most of the students are also going abroad and pursuing medicine and coming back to practice. So if you see, even in India, it is costing 1 crore or more, but in abroad, within 50 lakhs and within 1 crore, you are able to get your medical degree.
Yes.
So that is also one reason where, of course, there are a lot of things that needs to be done. Since 75 years of independence, we have seen how the medical infrastructure has been growing slowly, and thanks to the present government,
Yes.
after Modi government has come, lot of premier institutions like All India Institute of Medical Sciences have been opened up at various places, and existing infrastructure has been growing comparative. I'm not saying this is the best one, but comparatively than earlier governments or than earlier initiatives, now even medical colleges also, every district where there is no medical college, central government is sanctioning a medical college, and many districts also utilized. So I think this is a great opportunity for entrepreneurs, especially educationalists or businessmen also, for that matter. If you don't have any medical college in your district, then this is a great opportunity. You can go ahead and apply for that, and can start your own medical college in your district so that we will have more health professionals available to the community.
Yes.
And as more and more colleges come up, even the price also will come down, because there is a huge demand for medical professionals and seats also. There is a huge competition. And a lot of other things are there. So we cannot discuss it in a very short time. So over a period of time, slowly these things are being addressed. And one more major lacunae among our medical professionals as such is, we don't promote ourselves or our specialties or our profession. That is lacking in every profession, not only just in medicine. You see these, especially medical, not only medical, any professional associations or bodies are very much limited in their scope. They are mainly restricting themselves to, conducting few training programs, continuing education programs, and acting as a regulatory body. But they are not much into creating awareness at the grassroots level. Say, you belong to homeopathy system. And so now, because earlier, these other systems, basically there was no modern medicine earlier. No, it was only Ayurveda. And on other systems also emerged. And there should be a professional association, like even homeopathy is also having a wide popularity across the world. This Hahnemann has started. And, actually what we have to do is we need to have association, though we have Ayush in India and also various homeopathic associations also, the Council for Homeopathy and various other bodies. But what is lacking in every system is, we are not able to create awareness at the grassroots level. We are not promoting. We need to utilize each and every opportunity. We should not think whether this is, a great, a big opportunity or a small opportunity. But whatever opportunity we get, we should utilize it to promote our medicine system, whichever it may be. It may be Ayurveda, Yoga, Naturopathy, Homeopathy, or even for that matter, modern medicine also. Whenever there is an occasion, especially this is rainy season, there is a lot of vulnerability for viral fevers, dysenteries, and waterborne, airborne diseases, viruses, bacteria. And we have to take this opportunity to create awareness, especially if we are talking about homeopathy. So we need to talk about preventive aspects, preventive medicine. So
Sir, I just want to add one more point to yours. Whatever you said is correct, but whatever we are living in this world is like, everything should be in hurry. Like none of the people ready to take the healthcare system, not the reason. Like to seek the treatment, the moment they get any illnesses, self-prescription, everything is going on. They come back when it is in later stage, like when it is about to suffering more, then they come to the doctor and say, sir, I am suffering from this. They won't say that I have taken this medicine because of that increasing. So there is a moment there, then people need to understand that when they are sick, they need to come. Yes, they need to take the first aid, but not at the level like they getting himself into the trouble. They just want a quick recovery. So medicine system is failing at the awareness level in the public, sir. Like many of the patient you see in whichever hospitals and clinics, not only for the Ayush, even for the medical system also, more of children's and the elderly age group will be visiting more, whereas teenagers very less visiting to the clinics and the hospitals. That's the main reason. The main reason is like, with if they sick today, the moment half an hour they need to get recovery, they need to work. They are in the running world. They won't understand the situation and come and seek the treatment. That's the main lacking here. And they need to understand, like, slow and steady wins the race, not the ultimate. If you sit like this, you take the medicine, it works. No system is like that. They need to understand. So promotion among the middle-age group people and the remote areas is more important about the healthcare systems.
Yes, ma. You see, this entire systematic approach, actually allopathy of the modern medicine, because of this medicine, the approach has changed. Ayurveda, this yoga, these approaches are holistic approaches. It does not just focus on disease or disorder or illness. It, considers various aspects of human being, including the environment. But unfortunately, the modern medicine or allopathy, it only considers, it is not a holistic medicine. It's not a holistic approach. That's why this modern medicine has a lot of side effects. Each medicine, if you go through, if you just pick up one tablet, you can see 2 pages, almost 1 to 2 pages of side effects. So the basic approach lies, there is a difference in approach, the way we consider treating this illness or, disease. So that's kind of awareness is lost with this modern medicine, especially. And because of that, a lot of casualties are also increasing. If you see psychotics, nowadays we are talking of mental health because insurance has also come into that, and there is a lot of money. Earlier, there was very little emphasis on mental health. But now, because, where there is money, there is a huge industry, there is huge economy. So now people are talking about mental health. Mental health was there long back, since physical health was there, mental health was also there. Well-being was there, part of it. But now there is more emphasis because insurance has come in and there is more money. Now they are getting reimbursement. So there is more money. So people are also talking more about it, and more establishments are coming on. So what we need to focus, in a holistic approach, it's not just the physical thing, physiological aspect or biological aspect. It should be social aspect, economical aspect, and also spiritual aspects, and various emotional aspects, and all aspects when we consider in totality, not only just the individual, but also the environment, family environment, and the physical environment in which he lives. All, when everything is considered, we can treat them. And coming to this, as technology has made easier access, so people are finding it easy. One aspect is, reaching out to a doctor is a costly affair.
Yeah.
Why people are not going? Why it is easy to go to medical shop rather than a medical doctor? Because first is cost. That is not cost effective. Now, if you go to a doctor minimum charges, even he charges minimum 100 rupees. That too, if you go to a clinic. But if you go to a hospital, minimum 500, 700, 1,000. It depends on different hospital. So the first thing is affordability, accessibility to the doctors. And that is for normal, who is general physician or general surgeon. And if you go to super specialty or the, subspecialties or super specialties, then the consultation fees is also high. and non-availability of specialists. So this is also one of the reasons. I don't say this is the only reason. There are a lot of reasons that are contributing to this. And moreover, the other aspects like lack of awareness is there. We have home remedies available because our kitchen is very rich in medicine, because the ingredients we use, the spices and various ingredients in our kitchen we use are very effective. But they are at what level? At a preventive aspect, at an initial stage, they do wonders. But when it is at a chronic level or acute level, we need to approach them. And whenever there are symptoms, especially, that is where we have to create awareness, because who will come and create awareness? See, modern medicine, because it is a huge business today, they are creating, they are promoting, because they are generating huge income. And when especially with homeopathy or Siddha or Unani or any other medicines, who has to create? Either government has to create, because that is at the end of the day, that is also a business. Of course, it's a service. No doubt it's a noble service. But again, at the end of the day, it's business. No one wants to do it free. Everyone wants to charge. And because in the very first place, they also paid so much for studying, and they also want to earn their livelihood. There is nothing wrong. So everything is economy matters. So this is what, preventing, especially what we can do, at least at a student stage, while, students are pursuing, they can take this opportunity to go into the community and create awareness. And you can take help of your senior professors and reach out, creating more awareness programs online, offline, and use the many platforms are there, like these international forums where you can come regularly, talk. It may not be an expert talk, but at least you can basically create some awareness on various topics, on various occasions, and that will help in promoting. And we will also look at various other aspects, like as you rightly pointed out, occupational stress is also there, occupational health and safety aspects are there, the ergonomics, not only in at a clinic, but also at operation theaters and various other, operating rooms and aspects are there. So it has to be a collaborative effort, as I mentioned, multidisciplinary team. Not everything can be done by the doctor. And we need an entire team, from receptionist, we need a counselor, we need a psychologist, we need a social worker, we need a nurse, we need a nutrition and dietitian, we need a physiotherapist. Like, it's an integrated approach where we all need to work together. So with more such integrative system, I think everyone will get some time to specialize in their own subject and at the same time provide better services. So you have given your valuable insights, ma'am. Very good. I think you are the right person, because you are still studying. So you can explore. You can do research on what is lacking and why it is lacking, even after so many years. Why it is still having challenges, why these have been not resolved earlier, and what can be done. Maybe someone earlier also might have suggested these solutions, but still why these challenges are still existing. If we can do some research and come up maybe in the next time, if you
Yes,
can
sir.
come and present.
Currently, I'm running a project on this agronomics itself, sir. It's a non-experimental research studies going on. So But it's not on the medical profession because already there are medical professional studies has been done over the dental doctors and the nursing students and the physicians who are working in operation theaters. I'll be working on the education academic. There are doctors who are working in academic level. On that, I'll be concentrating, sir.
That's a nice study. Hope that will also bring some insights for training, teaching faculties.
Yes.
Yeah. So, Payal Sen Gupta, would you like to add or share your feedback? Unmuted yourself. Payal Sen Gupta. Yes, a couple of times. Unmuting myself. Okay. So, thank you, Dr. Nicola, for joining us on this wonderful occasion. And we wish you all the success for your research and future endeavors. And we look forward for more sessions in future. You are always welcome. You can join us at any time because daily we are organizing sessions. So you can use this platform to create awareness and to promote homeopathy and preventive medicine.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Wishing all happy Doctors' Day, all the doctors out there.
Wishing you too happy Doctors' Day. So friends, quickly fill up the feedback form. Feedback form for session 3 has been raised. After this, we will have last session and then we'll conclude in another half an hour. As we have seen in various sessions deliberated on this platform, and also today we're talking about various aspects. So let's focus on awareness on legal aspects, especially when we are working in medical hospital settings. We also need to have some awareness on basic acts. We may not be an expert, no, but at least awareness of certain medical terminology or certain medical aspects will definitely help us. Of course, medical professionals or allied health professionals are protected through various laws and acts, but awareness of these will always help us. And especially healthcare in India, which is an universal care system run by constituent states and territories, both by central government, state governments. And with the independence, a new phase in the development of organized healthcare services and infrastructure create a lot of, creating a lot of entitlement for the individuals and also for the state and center. Additionally, began enactment of various laws, rules, and regulations, including modification of colonial laws. And judiciary also developed various case laws to consolidate people's entitlement of health care and to extend the rights. So when we look at briefly, I will just list out few acts which can be useful. Maybe in coming days, we have our resource person, Virendra Kumarji, who is regularly sharing his valuable insights, especially on legal aspects. So already he has covered a lot of acts, rules, and regulations in earlier sessions. Even in coming sessions also, if anything we have not covered, also we'll be covering if there is any need. So there are certain laws governing the commissioning of the hospital, that is for establishment, maintenance, and running of clinics, hospitals, or health establishments, medical and health establishments. So these laws make sure that the hospital facilities are created after due process of registration and are safe for the public and abide the rules and regulations and law of the land. So first, an establishment needs to be registered. So it can be registered under Trust Act or Society Registration Act of 1960. These years might change. So because of amendments and revisions, modifications. So we have Companies Act 1956. So and Cooperative Act. On any of these four acts, it can be registered. And apart from that, there is also other acts or laws that govern the establishment or construction and maintenance of hospitals, like Urban Land Act 1976, National Building Code 2005. And we need to take a building permit from the municipality, panchayat, or whichever the urban body or rural body is involved for construction of building. Again, we need to take permissions from fire department and electricity department, water department, sanitation department. So we need to be aware of fire safety rules 1987, electricity rules 1956, and we might be using these X-rays and other scanning and other machinery equipments in hospitals. So we should be aware of radiation protection certificate for radiology department from BARC, BARC, Baba Atomic Research Center, and atomic energy, as we will be using a lot of X-rays, and various other technologies. So we need to dispose any such radioactive materials. So Atomic Energy Safe Disposal of Radioactive Waste Rules, 1987, and thereon. And nowadays, telemedicine has also come up. So we need to be aware of the Information Technology Act and various Indian Telegraph Act, 1885. And all these hospitals or clinics comes under Clinical Establishment Bill 2010. So if any clinic has to be registered, it has to be registered properly through registration body. And the Registration Act 1908 and Government Buildings Act 1899 with respect to government and public establishments of health and medical systems, and Red Cross Society Allocation of Property Act 1936, St. John's Ambulance Association India Transfer of Funds Act 1956. So these are all related to hospital construction, maintenance, and facilities in the process of registration and conduction. And there are various other laws related to practice and profession, including education and also code of conduct, ethics of medical health professionals. These laws make sure that the professionals and also the employers of these establishments in the hospital clinics are qualified and authorized to perform their jobs and duties. These include Indian Medical Council Act 1956, Indian Medical Degrees Act, registration of medical practitioners with State Medical Council. One must be registered with the appropriate state medical council wherever he is or she is practicing. It may be any system. And even we see in rural areas, we see registered medical practitioners. And, we see these DAIs who conduct deliveries. They are also initially, actually, they were the ones before doctors were available in rural India. So we cannot undermine their contribution. So earlier also, when their services also are required, because initially doctors who were trained were not willing to do their service in rural areas. And they were very much restricted to urban areas only. Then how the rural population will get medical facilities or health facilities? It was only through, government establishments, even in government also, hospitals, clinics. Doctors were not willing, even if they were appointed, they were not serving the required time. They were just, visiting. They were more of a visiting consultant rather than a full-time professional available in rural settings. So all these, keeping in mind, central government and state government also has certain guidelines to utilize these services, to train them, to train these registered medical practitioners, especially. It may be by the virtue of tradition or practice, they are practicing from generations to generations, or those who have, studied somewhere basics of medicine or basics of medication, and they are providing their services. But the problem here is, the quality and adequate literacy and guidance, supervision that needs to be provided, and proper referral system, because they are the ones, they are available locally, because doctors are not available round the clock. And if something happens, again, lack of infrastructure, lack of availability, accessibility, and even many are poor people, especially tribal people, and even in rural areas where there are no roads and various other aspects are there. We cannot blame any one particular individual or one particular profession, because it is their system since long, and overnight we can't change. And they are also very useful. So government also has devised some initiatives to consider them and train them adequately, so that they can help the existing doctors and nurses and infrastructure through referrals. Immediately, they can immediately attend, and they are also trained in first aid and basic treatment procedures, non-invasive and basic OTC drugs, over the counter without any prescription. Such drugs are available. So basic drugs, medicines are also given to them under guidance, so that they can provide immediate relief, and then they can refer to the public health institutions, infrastructure, where the doctors are available. It may be primary health center or area hospital, district hospital, or whichever the institution may be, or a visiting doctor to that locality. So that provides, adequate opportunities for the medical services, the delivery of medical and health services to the unreached and the remote areas of the nation. So in that aspect also, we need to utilize their resources to strengthen. We cannot undermine their support, because a lot of hospitals get referrals from these medical practitioners who are practicing. Of course, there are also this problem of quacks. Those do not have any qualification. Either it may be the traditional or ancestry knowledge, or by the virtue of education or training. They might be working with some doctor, or they for some time, and they learned something and they are practicing. But that is, at times dangerous. And without, if the intent or the motive is to help genuinely, then most of the time there is no harm, because he or she is conscious about what he or she is doing. But what happens when they are working for vested interest to earn money, or to various other things? That's where the problem comes. They are not genuine to themselves or to their services, so they try to exploit people, and that's where the problem comes. So if they are genuine enough and conscious enough to refer if something is beyond their scope and understanding, it is always a great support for us. But if they take themselves risk without proper understanding, so that is where the problem comes. So there are various laws, as mentioned, like Indian Nursing Council Act 1947, Dentist Act 1948, Dental Council of India regulations, 2006 AICT rules of physiotherapy rules, All India Council for Technical Education Act 1987, the Apprenticeship Act 1961, Rehabilitation Council of India Act 1992, and thereon with the latest amendments. And when coming to storage or sale of drugs, these medicines, medication, there are certain laws that regulate and control usage of medication, chemicals, blood, and components, and prevent their misuse and regulate their sale. So these are Drugs and Cosmetics Act 1940, the Drugs Control Act of 1950, Pharmacy Act 1948, Central Excise Act 1944, for a permit to use and store spirit, Retail Drug License, Sales of Goods Act 1930, and Adulteration of Drugs, IPC Section 274, Blood Bank Regulations under Drugs and Cosmetics, Second Amendment Rules 1999, Homeopathy Central Council Amendment Act 2002, Homeopathy Central Council Act 1973, and others. And there are also certain laws governing the management of patients and safety of patients, which sets the standards and norms for the conduct of medical skill practice, prevention of unfair practices, and management of emergencies, and prohibit exploitation of patients. So these laws include Drugs and Magic Remedies, Objectionable Advertisements Act 1954, MTP Act 1997, Transplantation of Human Organ Act 1994, Transplantation of Human Organ Rule 1995, Rules for Insurance Cover for the Sterilization Cases, Birth and Death and Marriage Registration Act 1886, Indian Lunacy Act of 1912, the Epidemic Disease Act of 1897, Lepers Act, Guardians and Birds Act of 1890, the Mental Health Act of 1987, Laws of Privileged Communications, Indian Evidence Act, Disclosure of Privileged, Confidential, Patient-related information before a court of law under protest, Law of Torts, Consumer Protection Act of 1986, Protection of Human Rights Act. These are the various acts, Awareness of these will help us, especially for medical and health professionals and allied health professionals. And there are also certain laws governing environmental protection, because often this delivery of health and medical services involve a lot of hazards, environmental hazards. So there are certain laws for the protection of environment through the prevention of air, water, surface, and sound pollution. These include Biomedical Waste Management Handling Rules 1998, amendment in 2000, Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1974, the Noise Pollution Regulation and Control Amendment Rules 2006, Rules regarding the safe discharge of effluents in the public sewers, drains, DMC Sanitation and Public Health Bylaws 1959, the Air Prevention and Control of Pollution Rules 1982, Environment Protection Act of 1986, Noise Pollution Control Rules 2000. Apart from this, there are other laws governing the employment with regard to manpower and professionals in hospitals. These embrace the employment of men and women and their salaries and benefits. These include Child Labor Act, Citizenship Act of 1955, Employees Provident Fund and Miscellaneous Provision Act 1952, Employment Exchange, Compulsory Notification of Vacancies Act 1959, Equal Remuneration Act of 1976, Minimum Wage Act of 1948, Payment of Bonus Act 1965, Payment of Gratuity Act 1972, TDS Act, Veterinary Benefits Amendment Act 2008, Workmen's Compensation Act 1923, Persons with Disabilities Act 1995, SC and ST Act of 1989, Weekly Hobbies Act 1942. So there are certain regulations governing the business aspects of the hospital, which are conducted by these hospitals, especially the business and transactions. These laws are applicable to the hospitals or clinics or medical and health establishments in reference to their business aspects, which include Charitable and Religious Trust Act of 1920, Contract Act 1982, Customs Act of 1962, Rules for the display of Red Cross insignia, Vehicle Registration Certificate, Wireless Operation Certificate from Post and Telegraphs. So these are few laws that we need to be aware of. And when it comes to occupational health and safety for health workers, we have seen that about 54% of the health workers in low and middle income countries have latent tuberculosis, which is 25 times higher than general population. Between 44% and 83% of nurses in clinical settings in Africa have chronic lower back pain compared to 18% among office workers. Globally, 63% of the health workers report experiencing any form of violence at the workplace. During the coronavirus disease, COVID-19 pandemic, 23% of the frontline healthcare workers worldwide suffered depression and anxiety, and 39% of suffered insomnia. Furthermore, unsafe working conditions resulting in occupational illness, injuries, and absenteeism constitute a significant financial cost for the health sector, estimated at up to 2% of the health spending. However, so far only 26 out of 195 member states of World Health Organization have in place policy instruments and national programs for managing occupational health and safety of health workers and health professionals. So only 1/3 of the countries have some national policy instrument to protect health, safety, and well-being of health workers and professionals. So based on the experience of such countries, the following interventions have been demonstrated. To the beneficial in the protection of healthcare workers and professionals, introducing new and updating existing regulations, standards, and codes of good practices for protecting health and safety of health workers, making the protection of health and safety of health workers an integral part of the management of healthcare at all levels, creating mechanisms to expanding the coverage of health workers with competent occupational health services, including for risk assessment, management, health surveillance, vaccination, and psychosocial support, establishing collaboration with organizations of employers, health workers for improving working conditions. While employers have the overall responsibility for ensuring that all necessary preventive and protective measures are to be taken to minimize occupational risk, workers have responsibility to compensate within the management and participate in the measures for protecting their health, safety, and well-being. Health workers have the right to remove themselves from a work situation that they have reasonably justification to believe presents an imminent and serious danger to their lives or health. When a staff member exercises this right, he or she shall be protected from any undue consequences. In 2022, with resolution WHA 74.14 on protecting, safeguarding, and investing in health and care workforce, the World Health Assembly called upon member states to take necessary steps to safeguard and protect health and care workers at all levels. The Global Patient Safety Action Plan 2021-2030 adopted the 74th World Health Assembly, which includes action on health worker safety as priority for patient safety. Occupational health should aim at the promotion and maintenance of the highest degree of physical, mental, and social well-being of workers in all occupations, the prevention among workers of departures from health caused by their working conditions, the protection of workers in their employment from risks resulting as healthcare is the fastest growing sector and it employs millions of workers and professionals. Women represent nearly 50 to 80% of the healthcare workforce. Healthcare workers face a wide range of hazards on the job, including sharp injuries, chemical and drug exposure, back injuries, latex allergies, violence, and stress. With this, we shall end this international seminar. And we thank each one of you for joining us and supporting us. So see you all tomorrow at 6 o'clock with a different topic. With the same link, you can join every day. And we request everyone, those who have not registered, to register. The registration link is in chat box. And those who have attended today's sessions are requested to fill the feedback form, everyone, so that your certificates can be prepared and shared in Google Drive, and the link will be updated on the website. So once again, we wish all the participants, presenters, happy Doctors' Day and happy Chartered Accountants' Day. See you all tomorrow. Take care. Good night. I take this opportunity to express my sincere gratitude to all the speakers, presenters, and all the participants for being with us